US and UK visas cancelled. Traffic police issues an advisory flow of motorists on Martyrs Day. And in sports, Police Club dominates seniors category at Korea Ambassadors Cup. Hello there and welcome once again. We are coming to you live online and on air from Broadcast House here on Nile Avenue. Now, President Yoweri Museveni has signed 6 bills into law, marking significant legislative progress. The newly enacted laws cover a range of areas, including anti-homosexuality bill, markets regulation, human organ donation and transplant, microfinance institutions, museums and monuments, as well as miscellaneous amendments to existing laws. Meanwhile, President Yoweri Museveni has commended the National Resistance Movement Parliamentary Caucus members on value addition. President Museveni noted that the NRM members of Parliament had concurred with him that value addition should be implemented because it benefits all Ugandans. Take a watch.
The President made the remarks today during the ongoing 10-day NRM Parliamentary Caucus retreat at the National Leadership Institute in Chankwanzi. The retreat is on the theme, Increasing Household Incomes and Wealth Creation, the critical role of the leader.
I'm very glad now to hear that you have now agreed that value addition is a minimum position for all of us, you and myself.
President Museveni urged the MPs to prioritize key sectors in budget allocation like roads and electricity, which can support the rest of the areas to be worked upon.
My advice to them was, even if we have got many problems, but if we have got enough electricity and good roads, the rest can follow. How about the other issues? How about water? How about this one? Yes, those are there. But let's first have the roads and power.
The President also agreed with the legislators that in case of any issues, mostly about the presidential proposals, the NRM Parliamentary Caucus will sit with him in a caucus and resolve the matters amicably.
That when there is an issue like this, instead of tossing it around, you bring proposal, then send back, then stand down, then sit down, then put speaker. I am standing up. I am point of information, point of order. As if you are in a theater acting. Then we call the caucus. We call the caucus. The caucus. You are there. I am here. None of us is dead. We are all here. We meet and we say, okay, there is a problem here.
About the district roads, President Museveni agreed with the legislators that each district should receive 1 billion shillings for Maram roads, saying that the roads boost development. On district hospitals, President Museveni proposed that health centers 3s and 4s be empowered with doctors, as those facilities are the first areas for the management of various diseases.
Now, the Speaker of Parliament, Anita Among Annette, may not travel to the United States soon following the cancellation of her visa. Now, this comes just a few days after President Yoweri Museveni signed the recently passed anti-homosexuality bill into law. Addressing journalists at Parliament, Bujiri Municipality Member of Parliament, Asman Basalirwa, called upon government to find development partners in the Arab world for alternative donor support.
From day one of processing this bill into law, the stakes were high, although the movers, seconders and other stakeholders were determined.
And I want to appeal to all of you here that we should not accept the intimidation which is coming from the Western world to us as a country.
The head of state summoned an NRM caucus to correct some anomalies identified at the first passing of the bill.
Those who like easy life end up as prostitutes. And that's what they want us to be. They want Africa to be prostitutes.
Homosexuality, obviously, just like other doctors agreed, it's more to do with a psychological perspective rather than a medical perspective.
The bill has since been returned to Parliament, debated and passed again. But it has come with some threats to the Speaker of Parliament.
I was intimidated. We are going to lose out of drugs of AIDS. Aid is going to be cut off. Tourism, trade, export. I said, so what?
Nevertheless, the bill is now an act of Parliament.
Called the Anti-homosexuality Act 2023. Was assented to by the President and forwarded to Parliament. So what I have with me here is the assented to copy.
Asman Basalirwa is the mover of the bill who got overwhelming support from Ugandans. He has an appeal to the Western world.
This law here was signed by the President of the Republic of Uganda. May I invite America, Canada, Britain, the entire European Union to also cancel the visas of Mr. Museveni. May I also invite them to cancel visas of all MPs except two. Except two. Let all MPs' visas be cancelled.
This appeal follows the cancellation of the Speaker Anita Among's visa to the United Kingdom and the United States. Basalirwa agrees with Anita Among's earlier submission on the matter.
That you're going to be blocked from going to America. Do I need to go to America? I was sent here by people of Bukedea. I am what I am because of my people. I am not because I want to go and get a donation. If you're saying there will be no food, I'll go and dig cassava in Bukedea.
And that means don't waste your time applying for a visa to any of those countries. I cannot, for example, apply for a visa to the US. Fortunately, I was last in the US in 2009. I had not even become MP. I have never gone back.
As for donor funding from the West, Basalirwa wants government to find alternatives in the Arab world.
And I am ready to champion the cause of going to the Arab world to look for donor support. The Arab world, we will go to Saudi Arabia, we will go to Kuwait, we will go to Qatar, we will go to UAE, and this deficit which will be occasioned by these cuts can easily be replaced.
For now, he wants government to reduce on what he describes as unnecessary expenditure.
It is now time that we become frugal, so that monies that could be spent on unnecessary aspects or sectors is redirected to go to health, to go to education, and other sectors.
The anti-homosexuality bill was first passed on 21st March 2023, but was returned by the President. The President cited concerns regarding distinguishing between being a homosexual and actually engaging in acts of homosexuality. This was reviewed and the bill was passed on 2nd May 2023. Henry Okrut, UBC.
Thanks, Henry, for that report. And we'll remain with the anti-homosexuality bill momentarily, where human rights lawyers have vowed to challenge the LGBTQ assented to by President Museveni to have homosexuals imprisoned for life once caught in the act of homosexuality. Now, the law also penalizes owners of buildings or estates where an act of homosexuality will be presumed to have been conducted from The law also infringes on media freedoms in Uganda, and any media house caught running editorial content that supports homosexuality will automatically have its broadcast license revoked and closed.
Against international condemnations and threats to freeze foreign funding to Uganda from development partners, President Museveni has signed the LGBTQ bill into law.
It's been gazetted, it will be in force. What that means is that, one, even those people who think that there are some issues that they want to challenge in the Constitutional Court, they are now free to go to court and challenge it. And I think maybe it would be a good thing, because the last time such a law was challenged in court, it was annulled only on a procedural matter, which was the lack of quorum. So maybe if people go to challenge this one, it will also be good to interrogate the constitutionality of some of those issues that where some people have arguments that either this is a right or it's not a right.
However, human rights lawyers have vowed to challenge the law assented to by President Museveni, describing it as a draconian law. Human rights lawyer will proceed to the High Court to challenge the article that commits gays for life imprisonment if one caught and proven guilty to have committed homosexuality. The Anti-homosexuality Bill 2023 also criminalizes owners of building or apartments where an act of homosexuality will be presumed to have been conducted, or offices when homosexuals meet.
Those people who are not principal offenders but who may be seen to help either by omission or action the criminalized practice of homosexuality, because there are some vague provisions in the bill which may be challengeable in court.
On the other hand, the law also borders on media freedom. Any media house that will be understood in its editorial content to have played content in support of homosexuals, all literature of homosexuals, or hosting gay officials, it will automatically have its broadcast license revoked by Uganda Communications Commission in collaboration with Uganda Broadcasting Council. Despite what lawyers are describing as defects within the piece of legislation, Musisi, a renowned city lawyer and human rights defender, says the enforcement body will have problems in implementing the signed law, more especially when two consenting adults are involved. Extracting evidence from the adults will be difficult.
The law is likely to be caught up, even if it's not challenged, even if it's to be maintained. Enforcement is likely to be hard. All laws which have a moral issue, sometimes it's very hard to enforce, especially where those people are willingly doing whatever is being done. So I think it will only be for purposes of those people who may be forced into such kind of relationship.
Shortly after the signing of the LGBTQ Bill 2023 into law by President Museveni, the United States Embassy in Uganda is reported to have terminated the visa of Uganda's Speaker of Parliament, Anita Among, and the mover of the bill, MP Basalirwa. However, a number of MPs who fully participated in the passing of the law, which the United States government say violates human rights, will also be released on US travel watch list of those not supposed to appear or travel to the United States.
I see the international community using that. It's called that soft diplomacy of cutting of aid, travel restrictions, which may certainly ultimately affect because when it comes to health services provision, United States has put in a lot of money under the US aid to support so many health programs. So I foresee a dent onto some of those programs, and of course ultimately the beneficiaries, and I'm sure
the signed law will not only affect travels of MPs who fully participated in the passing of the bill and subsequently influenced its signing. The signed law also has adverse effects on foreign aid to Uganda. Ahead of reading and passing of Uganda's national budget 2023-2024 by Parliament, many foreign missions that have been supporting Uganda's budget are reported to have withheld their support. The biggest funders of Uganda's budget is the United States, Available information from the U.S. Embassy in Kampala, the U.S. provides significant development and security assistance to Uganda with a total assistance budget exceeding $970 million per year. This literally means, with other development partners that are likely to freeze their aid as a condition, the signing of the bill into law is likely to lead to economic setbacks in the implementation of the 2023-2024 national budget. I'm Navka Farida and Muyungo Joseph in Kampala.
Now, Wajiri Municipality Member of Parliament Asuman Basalirwa has vowed to defend any court process against the Anti-Homosexuality Act. Now, this follows President Yoweri Museveni's gesture to protect the culture and values of Uganda's tradition by assenting to the Anti-Homosexuality Bill 2023. Now, the law, which criminalizes homosexuality in Uganda, has since been contested by a section of the community, but in vain.
The move by President Yoweri Museveni to sign the Anti-Homosexuality Bill 2023 into law has been welcomed by the wider section of the public, describing how the protection of Uganda's culture and values has taken the front seat.
That there are some development partners who have threatened to withdraw aid, but I want to appeal to the development partners that the support you are giving to this country was not conditioned on the issues around homosexuality.
The other people can get annoyed. It's okay. We also don't sit in their parliament to set for them their laws. They make their laws. They have made their laws. We cannot even force them to do polygamy, which is practiced here.
It is the second attempt since 2013 as Uganda cements its position against actions of homosexuality. The Anti-Homosexuality Bill 2023, signed by President, was passed by Parliament recently after modifying the bill to punish only persons engaging in same-sex acts. In the process, the lawmakers were aware of the consequences from criminalizing the imported culture in Uganda.
In 2009, when I moved this bill, we struggled with it for 5 years. We were under a lot of pressure, and on that day, I remember, we agreed with the Speaker to have a strategy of not put the bill on the order paper, because of the pressure to call it during the debate. And that's the reason why we could not raise quorum. They defeated us that time in court. I have gone to some hospitals and I have seen children with ripped anuses. And for anybody who is reasonable to stand here and say that this thing is okay, it's a human right to destroy people's anuses, that person is evil, hell belongs to that person.
At the top notch of contention in the anti-homosexuality law includes alleged abuse of public health by fueling the risk of HIV infections and aggravated homosexuality, which offenders risk facing a death penalty. The mover of the Anti-Homosexuality Bill 2023, Asuman Basalirwa, responds.
Because people want to create an impression that this is the first piece of legislation in Uganda that talks about death penalty. It is not. It is not the first, neither will it be the last.
According to Basalirwa, all ears are on the ground to respond to any party intending to challenge the newly signed Anti-Homosexuality Act 2023.
So I support anybody who wants to go to court over this aspect. But they will find us there, definitely. We will also be in court.
Daniel Mugoya, Gloria Gutabinji, UBC News.
Now let's put the anti-homosexuality bill aside and we move on to the 3rd of June. That is, of course, the Uganda Martyrs celebrations. And Traffic Police has issued an advisory flow of motorists during Martyrs Day celebrations. The Commander, Traffic, Kampala Metropolitan Superintendent of Police Rogers Kauma Seriko told the media that stickers have been printed for those to go through cut-off points. He advised the public to adhere to the traffic guidelines, as we hear in this story.
The Commander Traffic Kampala Metropolitan SP Rogers Kauma Seriko has clarified on the specific stickers to be acquired by the attendees of the Namgongo celebrations.
Foreign pilgrims to the Basilica with vehicles bearing blue stickers. this is the blue stick I'm talking about, will be dropped off at Chaliwajala Trading Center and vehicles will park at Vienna College School. Medical service vehicles will bear green stickers. These are the stickers. And these should be clearly displayed for ease of identification. Service providers for the Basilica bearing the purple sticker this is the sticker I'm talking about.
Some roads will not be accessed, while traffic cut-off points have been created on major highways to regulate the accessibility of Namgongo shrines.
Jinja Kampala Highway will be with normal traffic flow. Chireka Chaliwajala Road will be one way for vehicles heading to the venue. Chaliwajala Nalia Interchange will be one way towards Nalia Interchange. So we shall not be allowing any cars from Nalia to go up to Namgongo.
Motorists without stickers have been advised to withstand the inconvenience by following the instructions of strategic traffic officers. Meanwhile, highway policing for trekking pilgrims to Namgongo have been tightened after the incident of knocking 4.
Mairombili, that is the Kamoli roundabout along the Jinja Iganga Highway on the 27th of May at around 3:30 p.m. Up to now, we are trying to locate the driver of an Isuzu forward registration number UBE 168J called Magwa Yusuf, aged 24, and a resident of Bugembe Division in Jinja North. We established that he was driving recklessly.
Police have prohibited some items which are suspected to pose threat to the security.
At this stage, there are no credible threats that are directed towards the Uganda Martyrs Day celebrations. And we, however, would wish to remind the public that a threat environment still exists in our country. As seen in the past and across the globe, attacks can happen at any time and any place without warning.
Pilgrims are advised to be vigilant to suspected individuals and take caution of food poisoning. Abdul Nasir Lubwama and Komagum Rogers for UBC.
Now, Forum for Democratic Change FDC party is concerned over the absence of a clear exit plan for Ugandan troops in Somalia following the incident of the attack by the Al-Shabaab militants last week. Deputy Secretary General FDC Harold Keija told the media that the peacekeeping force staying for an extended period in Somalia is being seen as an occupational force which can cause a crisis.
Forum for Democratic Change has extended deep condolences to the families and relatives of the UPDF soldiers who died in Somalia during a recent Al-Shabaab attack on one of the camps. But the Deputy Secretary General FDC, Harold Keija, says although the party recognizes the importance of the UPDF's deployment in Somalia to restore peace and stability in the region, it is concerned over the absence of a clear exit plan for the troops.
The time we've been there, you know, those fighting must be seen that there's nothing special that we're interested in Somalia. Because today, we are seen as an operational force, which is very dangerous. We are seen as a force that is sided on one side, which is very dangerous. We must be seen that we came to help you. If you don't want to help, you can even go. There, they can even beg you, please don't go. But when they see you planning, not about to leave, bringing everything, you had one shot, you are buying the second one, the third one, it will cause a serious crisis.
FDC wants Parliament to discuss the benefits of Uganda for its troops in Somalia. Meanwhile, the party has unveiled the contestant in the Oyam County North by-elections for the MP seat that fell vacant following the death of Charles Okello Engola. Okello Newton Freddy, the FDC candidate, says the party is deeply rooted in Oyam to win this election.
Right now, the son of the late Honorable Charles Okello Engola was in UPC. He's just run into NRM in this particular time because he wants the votes. But the NRM leadership is saying no. If you're a visitor, you've come to our house, you first rest. So I'm sure even will not bounce back through the primary election. He will not go through the primary election. Away from that, Oyam North has been a very stronghold of FDC.
Joram bin Tamanya, the FDC chairman in Fort Portal, who was arrested during the funeral service of Private Sabiti, says people of Tororo region are unhappy with unfulfilled pledges.
Hinga Stadium. Instead of constructing a stadium, they gave us a fence. We have Saka Road. We have Kijura Road. All these pledges have not been fulfilled. And people are crying day and night.
I'm Nafka Farida and Dan Lugema in Najanankumbi.
And News Tonight will now take a short break, but we'll be returning with much more. Do stay with us.
Jerry con. Jerry con. Hey, Master Blaster. Touch him, man. Bang Jerry con with muscle. Those ones who say go is for you only. Mundava. Best good reason I teach you. But never going to which the scarry. Because of the cover is very far. Is you serious? It's serious you. What can I what? Eh? You step it on it. Add kilometers to your legs. And you get your sugar. We buy meat from Umaru. And Umaru refused to give you enough meat. Mama! Show him that they don't joke with you. Umaru, Jerry car.
Okukakaluka n'okulungi kwetaagako omuntu akuyambako n'olwekyo tujja kukuteerawo embeera esaanidde osobole okukola ekisinga awamu teri kitulema.
At Timex Nutrition Center, we advise you on the right foods to eat, exercise profile to adopt, and lifestyle strategies which are compatible to your blood group and genotype. This empowers your body to prevent and treat many diseases like diabetes, blood pressure, arthritis, ulcers, obesity, and many others. For more information, find us at our head office in Kampala on Nassa Road, Conrad Plaza, 2nd floor, or call 0758 819 952 or 0778 288 361. We also have other branches in Bara and Jinja.
This is the University of Africa. On the streets, you get your real education. Here, everybody has a degree of something. But the most important qualification is imagination. Her reason to imagine is slay. His reason is to be the GOAT. Theirs is to take the beat and make it lit. They want to test edgy until it is fire. Their reason for imagination is to add riz in style. Her reason to imagine is finesse. And hers is to find what's new and bussin'. So no matter what your situation, just use your imagination.
This isn't just a girl. She is the future. This is a teacher, a doctor, a community leader, our future president.
Their support meant so much to me. And as a teenage girl, I stayed focused and was protected from child marriage and teenage pregnancy. I will support other girls against child marriage and teenage pregnancy.
Take action. Report any case of defilement or child marriage to the police or call Sawuti 116. the Ministry of Health will conduct yellow fever preventive mass vaccination campaign for all persons aged 9 months up to 60 years. These people should have never been vaccinated against yellow fever. The yellow fever campaign will be conducted in phases, with the first phase covering districts in the regions of Arua, Guru, Lira, Kabare, Kabarore, and Hoima. The campaign will begin on the 9th of June and end on the 13th of June 2023 and will be conducted in all government health facilities and outreach posts. All parents and caregivers are requested to take their children aged 9 months to the nearest health facility and outreach posts to get vaccinated against yellow fever disease. All adults aged up to 60 years but have never been vaccinated should go to health facilities and vaccination outreach posts to get vaccinated against yellow fever. Ministry of Health calls upon everybody to report any person who presents with signs and symptoms such as yellowing of eyes, fever, headache, muscle pain, feeling of vomiting or nausea, vomiting, and general body weakness or fatigue to the nearest health facility or health worker immediately for medical attention. This could be yellow fever. Yellow fever vaccine is a single dose given once in a lifetime. The yellow fever vaccine is safe, effective, and free. This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Health with support from Gavi and partners.
Did you know that you can safely and conveniently make your school fees payments anytime, any school, anywhere using Airtel Money? Oh yes! Simply pick up your phone and dial *185#. Select option 6, school fees. Choose between school pay, peg pay, or shore pay. Enter student number. Enter amount, confirm name and transaction. Enter Airtel Money PIN. A confirmation message will be sent to you upon a successful transaction. Airtel Money. Instant, secure, borderless.
Welcome back from that break, and this is News Tonight here on UBC TV. On sign language, it is Elizabeth Nakakoni, and I am Rukidi Kiijanango. Moving on now, over 400 cases of sexual and gender-based violence were disposed of in the last special court sessions of handling such cases. Now, to increase justice for victims and survivors of sexual and gender-based violence cases, the Judiciary will hold the 6th phase of special court sessions on SGBV cases next month.
Border sector meeting to reflect on performance in the previous phase of handling sexual gender-based violence cases. The meeting was officiated by the Executive Director, Judicial Training Institute, Lady Justice Damari Rwanga, on the behalf of the Principal Judge Dr. Flavian Njeiza, who urged the respective actors in ensuring fruitful results in handling sexual gender-based violence cases.
We need to look at the objectives of those sessions that we are having in phase 5, which are the objectives of this program. We shall then do an assessment of the sessions with a view to establish to what extent they achieved those objectives. I must say that evaluation of an activity after its completion is important because it helps to guide similar future activities. This review will help us to examine how preparations for the phase 5 sessions were made, how the sessions were conducted, the results of those sessions, and also the issues of coordination among the various players in the sessions.
So far, 400 cases of sexual gender-based violence have been disposed of in the 15th phase of special court sessions.
This led to the expeditious dispensation of justice to the survivors of SGBV and improved case management skills of personnel in the chain of justice, and eventually improved survivor-centered and gender-sensitive approach to handling victims of SGBV.
The head of Australian Development Agency, Dr. Rowitha Krimasa, promised continued support towards justice land order sectors.
I'm happy to inform you that we were able to convince our colleagues in my capital, Vienna, that is in Austria, to approve a second phase, not the same size. We tried to go bigger, we tried to go better, and therefore the second phase of this ongoing partnership with UNFPA should benefit over 500,000 of people in Karamoja and northern Uganda.
But there are challenges that limit timely justice.
The identification of witnesses and enhancing their participation, as well as the long time it takes for DNA analysis. These challenges watered down the evidence and made it more difficult to point at perpetrators and make the cases succeed.
The 16th phase of sexual gender-based violence special court sessions will start next month in various courts across the country. Deborah Namamonde, Nantongo Rebecca, UBC News.
Still in the courts of law, the Anti-Corruption Court has dismissed an application filed by Minister Agnes Nandutu seeking to hold charges against her relating to her alleged involvement in the Karamoja iron sheet scandal. Minister Nandutu had wanted court to hold the case hearing for the Constitutional Court to interpret the violation of charges against her and a right to fair hearing.
Judge Jenny Okuwa Kajugo of the Anti-Corruption Court is presiding over the matter where State Minister for Karamoja Affairs Agnes Nandutu is accused of dealing with suspect property of over 14,000 iron sheets. She dismisses State Minister Agnes Nandutu's application for want to halt the criminal proceedings against her.
In light of the foregoing, therefore, I decline to halt the criminal proceedings against the accused in this court. I dismiss the application. And I would like to advise that counsel for the accused may, if they so wish, seek an application for an injunction from the Constitutional Court to halt these proceedings, because I believe that the Constitutional Court, being vested with the jurisdiction to hear the substance of the matter, is better placed to determine whether a grant of stay is justicious or not.
In the ruling, Judge Kajuga was of the view that the charges against Minister Agnes Nandutu need no constitutional interpretation.
For the reasons advanced, I decline to refer the question raised for interpretation because on the face of it, I do not see anything warranting constitutional interpretation. As I had earlier said, I find the provision clear and understandable, and I do not see the connection with Article 28 of the Constitution.
On the other hand, the application before court was just brought as a delaying tactic.
In this case, a petition has already been filed, referring the same question, which is already before the Constitutional Court for consideration, in my view, is unnecessary and amounts to a deliberate attempt to stay this particular trial.
Although prosecution was set to proceed with the hearing of the case, this was impossible since the defense legal team was not ready. Court resumed on 8th June 2023 for hearing of the case. Deborah Namamonde, Susan Nabugude, UBC News.
Now, the Deputy Resident City Commissioner, Mukono District, Titwe Ronda Kagaga, is to investigate circumstances under which Mukono High School is chasing away students on allegations of non-payment of school fees, yet it is a government-aided school. The Deputy RDC was on an inspection of government projects with members of the NRM Secretariat who are on an assessment and survey on the progress of the Manifesto implementation. The Secretariat was informed to empower NRM flag bearers despite their failure in the 2021 elections.
Being a government-aided school, government has released 2.5 billion shillings in Mukono High School in Mukono District. However, members of the NRM Secretariat, together with leaders in Mukono District, have made an impromptu visit to the school, only to find learners being sent back home because of not clearing half of the school fees.
School fees. Ekiri ku Mukono High bagoba abaana somero tulimanyi bulungi nnyo nga lya bonna basome ne oyinza okusanga nga tawuni yonna ejjudde baana mu yunifoomu yaabwe abaana ab'essomero nobabuuza nti kiyita nti bagobedde kiti fees.
The Deputy Resident City Commissioner Mukono Titwe Ronda Kagaga said her office will investigate the matter.
We condemn the act of chasing students out of school, especially in government schools, because they have not paid fees. I can assure you I have gotten a complaint about Bukerere, St. Charles Ruanga Secondary School, and as per today, we were supposed to have a meeting with the town clerk, with the principal education officer, and the head teacher to explain to us the circumstances under which people are alleging that he's increasing school fees and chasing students out.
We shall put a sanctions committee and they will be answerable to that committee, and whatever will come out as a conclusion will be forwarded to the District Service Commission for further guidance.
The deputy spokesperson NRM, Rogers Mulindwa, while meeting NRM leaders in Mukono district, advised leaders to love and work for the party.
We have had an opportunity to interact with the leaders of the party from the branches, the NRM chairpersons from the villages. They have been here and we have heard from them directly, not through the third party. And their ideas are a true representation of the communities they are heading in their respective villages. So we have liked that, and we are going to compile a report back to the Secretary General, and the report will go to the national chairperson and the party president.
Mulindwa says there is still a land problem in the district.
Matter of Kema Valley Market, as a government we thought we are looking for money to do the construction of the market in the municipality. But again, the new ideas I've got from here is that the land is too small. It's 1.5 acres, and this land is not good enough for the market, like the markets we have had in Masaka, in Soroti, or in Gulu. So we need to find more money to extend the land, buy more land in the neighborhood before the construction is started.
Dr. Daisy Sarah Sonko, the NRM flag bearer, Mukono, asked the party to empower flag bearers to monitor government programs.
It should be a full involvement and participation of each and every one, and they should also involve us, the flag bearers, in these activities.
The leaders were asked to desist from infights within the party and formation of camps within the party. Sudat Kaye, UBC News.
To Moroto now, where Moroto district has registered a low turn-up of students on the first day of reporting for the second term due to insecurity that puts lives of school-going children at risk. However, Moroto district leaders and security actors have assured both teachers, students and parents of security. Now, 2 weeks back, suspected armed warriors attacked Atedeoi Primary School in Lotisan sub-county, Moroto district, leaving one teacher, Joy Chebet, dead, and the deputy head teacher, Peter Chepsokor, and their son with severe injuries.
Time check is 11 a.m. We are at Atedeoi Primary School in Lotisan sub-county, Moroto district. It's the beginning of second term, but a police member and police officers were the first to welcome us at the school premises. The few learners are scattered within the school compound, others are playing. The school has over 20 teachers and over 1,000 pupils, but at the time of our arrival, only 2 teachers and 12 learners were at the school premises. The head teacher of the school, Samuel Abong, explains the security situation at the school.
Children still had that fear that the school is closed. That's why they didn't turn up today.
According to Abong, some teachers have failed to report back to school due to insecurity threats.
I called the rest of the teachers. They told me they are still scared of the situation. They are still traumatized about what happened.
Lotisan LC3 Sub-County Chairperson Robert John Akiki Adupa says they are worried that their children may fail to get education since it's the only school they have in the sub-county.
This Atedeoi, which is still a community school, functioning. And right now, if these teachers go away, there's nowhere these children they will go.
Moroto District Education Officer Paul Aputo and LC5 Chairperson David Koryang explained their efforts to create a good working environment for their teachers.
But also as a department, particularly, we are planning to have a meeting with the teachers of Atedewe Primary School just to give counseling to them.
Thought as Moroto that all our learning institutions, at least the security be put there to guarantee safety.
Moroto District Deputy Resident Commissioner Justin Tukosam has assured security to the teachers, students and parents.
Security for teachers, security for pupils, for students, that one is guaranteed.
Since the Atideo Primary School incident in which a teacher was allegedly murdered by a fellow teacher, new reports indicate 2 suspects being detained under police custody. Due to insecurity in schools like Musupo in Rupa Sub-County, Musasi Primary School in Katikekire Sub-County, and Kodonyo in Tapak Sub-County, these have become battlefields for the warriors, which has created fear among teachers and learners.
To Busia district now, where it is also the same story as the second term starts. Of course, most schools there registering a low turn-up of students. Take a watch.
Most schools in Busia district have registered a low turn-up of learners on day 1 of second term as head teachers encourage parents to send the learners back to school.
The first day children don't learn. They instead they take them to the garden to dig. But towards the end of the week, we shall be having more children. But the first day is just because they don't send their children. They have that feeling that maybe there are no lessons on the first day, which is not true.
Because out of 600, we were able to have 110 people for during the first day.
A number of parents attribute low number of learners at school to the hiked prices of school essential commodities.
Getting money has been a problem. I have been running up and down to look for money, going for business, going for lending. But however, I have managed to take them back, and I still have a big load to accomplish the balance.
The chairman Busia Traders, Samuel Mukisa, says the hike in commodity prices should not scare the parents as the prices are to lower in a week's time. Essential school commodities like posho, beans and books are among those whose prices have skyrocketed ahead of second term opening. Marion Awori and Martin Sando for UBC.
To Isingiro district now, where it is rather some good news from there as school reopening for term 2 for Uganda's primary and post-primary education institutions in the district has been well embraced. At Isingiro Secondary School, which is a church-founded universal secondary education school, gratitude is to government that has provided computers and classroom blocks.
The reporting today has been marvelous at Isingiro Senior Secondary School. Early morning we received students in their uniforms, and already as I talk now, they are already assembled in their classes. In computer lab, they are there students. In mathematics, they are there.
We have just reported, as everyone can see. This is the reporting day, 28th. Isingiro, as a school, when it's a reporting day, we all come in our uniform. And our teachers are also here to teach on such a first day. There is no time to rest because time is not our friend.
Today I have reported for term 2, and as you see, the students are coming in, and a good number of them have arrived. At least we are halfway the school. Now, though we have some challenges, but we want to thank the government.
We are grateful to this government
because it has provided us with whatever is necessary. That's why we've been able to score 20 with this student of ours, Kenneth. And we have the good computer lab. If you move around, you see what we have. The library. We are so grateful with this government because
they done wonders in terms of school facilities. They have given us 8 classrooms. These ones we are seeing. We got the money from the government. We got computers. Some of the computers are being bought by a school.
This is computer class now. We are in and
now, in tonight's special report about the genesis of Uganda Martyrs Day, we look at the role of Father Laudel Mapera and Brother Amani, the first white missionaries to introduce Christianity in Uganda when they docked at Chigungu landing site on the shores of Lake Victoria in 1879. Now, in this report, our reporter traces the journey, origin and life of Father Laudel Mapera that explains the introduction of Christianity to Uganda and how it ended up to the killing of many pages he had converted into Christianity. They chose to die for their strong faith in the new Christian religion against the orders of Kabaka Mwanga, who wanted them conscripted into Islam. Take a watch.
Born on 20th December 1853 in a peasant family in Dury, France, Father Laudel Mapera did his early primary and later joined junior seminary, where he was expelled that he was uncontrollable. According to available historical records, Mapera joined the Missionaries of Africa, established in Algiers in North Africa by Archbishop Lavigier in 1863, to educate young men who are willing to be missionaries to Africa, and was ordained by priest in April 1877.
Less than a year he was sent, he was called upon to come and join the caravan which was going in Sahara Desert, North Africa, for evangelization.
Laudel Mapera and Brother Amans were among those Cardinal Lavigier asked to join Equatorial Africa in 1878. They first arrived in Tanzania and started moving north of Lake Victoria. They docked at Chigungu landing site on shores of Lake Victoria on 17th of February 1879.
The journey from Machel up to Chigungu, it had taken them 10 months. That means on the sea sailing.
According to Father Gerald Mpanju, the Bugwanga parish priest, the place seemed not to be suitable and then headed to Bugonga, where they camped for a night.
And where I am seated, it is believed that's where they camped. They put their tent for the night, and then the following day they moved on foot up to where in Kisubi parish, where now you find the secondary school called Mapera Senior Secondary School.
Mapera and Amansi embarked on their journey to meet Kabaka Mutesa I and were welcomed by a Muslim family in Chitebi near Wankurukuku Stadium.
So from Chitebi, they footed, climbed the hill of Lubaga.
Father Laudel Mapera and Brother Amansi met Kabaka Mutesa I at his palace in Lubaga on 23rd Feb 1879 to spread evangelism in Buganda. The Mutesa accepted and settled them at Kasubi Nabulagala.
And then afterwards, after about 2 or 3 months, the king provided a flotilla to fetch their colleagues, and they too arrived on the 17th of June, 1879. And the following day, on the 25th, they said their first mass ever celebrated in Uganda.
According to John Damascus Mpuga, a tour guide, Mapera Nabulagala Catholic Church is known for being the cradle of the Catholic Church and the ancestral home of the Catholic Church in Uganda. The Catholic Church in Uganda believes its ancestors were laid here at Mapera Nabulagala Catholic Church.
The ancestors of the Catholic Church in Uganda are buried here. They did not all die in Uganda, all here. They died in different places.
It's here at Nabulagala where the first converted Catholics, led by one Nalubandwa, were baptized by Father Levincha, who was the team leader, on 27th of March 1880. And this marked the beginning of the spreading of evangelism in Buganda.
Unfortunately, their stay here was not long because there was some kind of insecurity and fear that something fishy might besail them.
The king, who was a Muslim, and they didn't accept he just sent away all the Christians. So he was threatening to kill them, then they ran.
What remains unclear is whether Kabaka Mutesa I was baptized.
To put together the facts about Kabaka Mutesa I, whether he died as a Christian after baptism, or at least he accepted the presence of Barikudembe.
Yafata abatiziddwa ensonga yamugaana okubatizibwa bwe buwangwa b'Abaganda. Yali ateekwa okuleka abakazi be bonna asigaze omukazi omu kwe bamubatiza naye ekyo kyamulemerera.
Mapera evangelized Uganda and never went back to France to see his parents. He did pastoral work in Uganda for 13 years until he died. It's important to note that among the many missionaries who came to Uganda, only Father Lodel Mapera died in Uganda. He was buried at Nabunya near Pope Paul in Ndeba, Kampala.
However, his remains were later removed from where he was buried and went buried at the cathedral at Rubaga.
At the height of internal fights in Buganda among the royals and the Muslims, Baganda, who never wanted the world spread of Christianity in Buganda, Father Lodel Mapera, Brother Mansi and some of their converts left Buganda to Morogoro in Tanzania, where they started another mission. 4 years later, after the death of Kabaka Mutesa I in 1884, his son Mwanga II, who had taken over the throne as Kabaka of Buganda, reinvited Father Mapera to return to Buganda on July 12, 1885.
Ebyembi bw'abakomyawo mu Buganda era Nabulagala tebaaliraba anaabawo ekyalo ekirala ekiyitibwa Nalukolongo.
When Lodel returned, he found 3 times as many baptized Christians as he had left. One of Buganda Princess Nalumansi, the favorite daughter of King Mutesa, had been converted to Christianity, and the village chiefs who had become Christians were beginning to assemble groups of believers around them at centers outside the capital. Lodel returned to Buganda at a moment of crisis when Kabaka Mwanga was about to commence a cruel persecution. On May 26, 1886, Father Lodel Mapera witnessed 16 of his converts and 10 Anglicans making their way in fetters to the execution sites of Namugongo. Without any doubt, their deaths were also his own martyrdom. With them, he died score of deaths, torn between admiration and sorrow. In 1974, the late Archbishop Cardinal Nsubuga suggested that the remains of Father Mapera, who had died and buried in Tabora, Tanzania, be returned and buried in Uganda, a mission that was successfully done.
He went to Bagamoyo, where Amasi was buried, and also picked them and brought the 2 to his home, to his house in Rubaga.
The remains of Father Lodel Mapera and Brother Amansi were buried at Mapera Nabulagala Catholic Church, together with other missionaries who led the first journey of evangelization to Uganda. The name of Mapera is forever linked with the 22 Catholic martyrs of Uganda.
Glow as you are with the new Spark 10 series smartphone from Airtel in partnership with Tecno. Own the timelines with picture-perfect selfies using the 32-megapixel selfie camera, 256GB storage, G88 gaming processor.
The Spark 10 smartphone comes with free 3GB from Airtel Airtel, so you can stay connected to a world of possibilities. Dial *100 *5# to enjoy free data.
Airtel, a reason to imagine.
In partnership with Techno. Stop at nothing.
Juko. Yo. Check the shopping, man. What's your secret?
Haven't you heard of the parish development model PDM?
Yes, I did, but I thought it was just a talk.
No, it is real. I and a few friends together formed a circle, accessed money from the PDM, invested in a poultry project, and now things are moving.
Juko. I thought I was one of your friends.
You are.
But you left me behind.
I didn't leave you in poverty. What you do, just visit your LC2 chairperson and your parish chief and start the process of economic transformation. Just like that. The parish development model is an initiative from the government of Uganda through the Ministry of Local Government designed to transform all lives of Ugandans for the better. PDM, my parish, my development, my life.
Talk with freedom. Get MTN Freedom Voice bundles that don't expire. Dial *100 *21# or my MTN app for more bundles. Together, we're unstoppable.
Welcome back. Let's have a look at the latest in business. The National Social Security Fund has earned a total of 31.5 billion shillings as dividends for the year ended December 31st, 2022 from its investment in MTN Uganda. Now, the payment is the single largest dividend earned by the fund to date, in addition to 9.32 billion shillings earned last year. Dennis Sigoa reports.
The National Social Security Fund invested Ugandan shillings 360 billion in December 2021 to acquire 1.98 billion shares in MTN Uganda following its initial public offer in December 2021. The investment in the largest telecom operator and fintech company in the country is yielding positive results.
31.5 billion shillings as a dividend for the year ending 2022. Which I think ends in March, or ends December? December. Yes. So for the year 2022, for the year ending December, we're getting a check of 31.5 billion shillings. Now remember, we first invested in MTN in December.
The payment is the single largest dividend earned by the fund to date, in addition to 9.32 billion shillings earned last year. It follows the approval of payment of a final dividend of 5.5 shillings per ordinary share for the year ended 31st December 2022 and was approved by the shareholders at the MTN Uganda Annual General Meeting on May 19th, 2023.
So we are glad today, even as we give this dividend check to NSSF Uganda, to know that we are returning value to the fund members in line with our company ambition of ensuring that we create shared value for all our stakeholders. We also note that through the public IPO that ran in 2021, we also got 20,870 shareholders, just sub 21,000, with over 200 smaller pension funds and SACCOs representing millions of Ugandans.
But what does the 31.5 billion shillings earnings mean to the fund's shareholders?
So in a space of just 2 years, we have received 40 billion shillings as dividends coming from MTN, and that's for you, the members. If you look at that dividend amount and look at the share price of MTN today, multiply by the shares we have today, the market value of those shares plus the dividends we receive today exceeds what we paid for MTN 2 years ago, which is a good investment for that matter. So as a long-term investor, NSSF Uganda is excited by the opportunities the telecom business presents. We are confident that our investment in MTN will continue to create value for our members.
MTN Uganda is the fund's largest equity investment at 14.6% of its total equities portfolio. The investment fits well with the fund's diversification strategy, a key component of the corporate strategy to grow the fund to Uganda shillings 20 trillion by 2025. Dennis Sigoa, for UBC Business.
Kampala Capital City Authority has cautioned street vendors to keep away from Kampala streets or be prosecuted. Now, this was during an operation at one of the markets near the old taxi park, where vendors were arrested and commodities seized.
KCCA through Keep Kampala, a smart city initiative, has been evicting people from the streets, and this has left many vendors arrested and property confiscated. KCCA conducted yet another operation on street vendors near Old Taxi Park in Kampala and confiscated goods worth millions of shillings. Traders are in tears after their goods were confiscated. The head of operations, Hakim Lubega, said all vendors arrested will be taken directly to established markets with their goods.
Kati olwaleero KCCA etandise enteekateeka zaayo ennungi ez'okujja baganda baffe ku makubo nga tebatutte mu kkomera, tetutte bintu byabwe nakawa ng'ebireeta wano ku butaka kubanga twaweebwayo ekazi 10. President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni tubwabulwa yatuwa ettaka wano we tugenda okuteeka abatembeeyi bonna we bagenda okukolera kati bali mu kubaleeta era yebino enteekateeka etandise bulungi.
3 years back, but these vendors have insisted to go off on the streets. So now we have resumed and we have started a new policy of we found their things to take them to the markets which are owned by KCC. Those markets are all for free of charge. They are not paying anything at all.
The confiscated items were loaded on 2 KCCA vehicles and taken directly to Smart Bazaar Market and handed over to the market chairman, Lubega Richard. However, KCCA cautioned the vendors that it was the last warning. Justin Nakami, Wycliffe Mudach, UBC News.
Let's have a look now at how the shilling fared today against selected regional and international currencies in our financial markets report.
On the forex market, the shilling opened the day with a flat rate from last week's performance of 3,724.96 and later in the day depreciated to a 3,733.17 buying and 3,734.96 to 3,743.17 selling against the dollar. The shilling further depreciated against the pound by 18.55 shillings compared to Friday's trading to register a 4,614.94 mark, and that is buying, and 4,627.30 selling. The euro also surged from 3,999.30 last week to a 4,009.42 buying and 4,020.16 selling respectively. The Tanzanian and Kenyan shillings remained flat as the South African rand traded at 190.06 and 190.59 buying and selling respectively. For UBC News, I'm Patricia Lokomampango.
And finally, a look at sports now. And the 2023 Korea Taekwondo Ambassadors Cup has climaxed with Police Taekwondo Club dominating the seniors category. John Barnes Sentamo reports.
After 2 days of action, the 2023 Korea Ambassadors Taekwondo Cup has climaxed at the MTN Arena Rugogo. The championship attracted 29 clubs, with some coming from neighboring Kenya. Meanwhile, Police Taekwondo Club emerged winner in the senior men and women categories.
Basically, this tournament has been, we had taken long without playing, so this tournament has brought up many clubs to come and participate in the competitions, and we had visitors from Kenya, which has given us at least some challenge, some competitions.
In the juniors category, Friends Taekwondo Club won the girls category, while Golden Age bettered all boys clubs available. The Korea Ambassadors Taekwondo Cup is part of festivities to celebrate Uganda-Korea ties.
Everybody become kuba mtaja gwenza nyina yewa nokufaino. Bulima dagamba agenda kola ati ajja kunkuba. Neze nzengambo itasobola kunkuba. Na wagenda koleyo bagenzewa do itankuba. Yanze na mutima ngambo ngena mukuba.
My fight, to me, we were only 2 people in our category, and I was the winner, and I'm proud of that. I also want to thank also my coach who has been there for me. Today I have won because last time I was hit, then I made it this time.
The other activities were the K-pop festival with the Kukiwon and Korea Movie Festival due this week.
This year marks the 60th anniversary for the diplomatic relationship between Korea and Uganda. We are going to have a series of events, and we hold K-pop festival and Ambassador Taekwondo competition. So next week we will have the Bukia Taekwondo demonstration, team performance, and movie festival, and so on.
Kampala University, Ndeje University and Lira Destiny were the other clubs at the Korea Ambassadors Taekwondo Cup. John Barnes Sentamo, UBC News.
And with that, we'll finally come to the end of this edition. Thank you so much for having kept us company. On sign language, it has been Elizabeth Nakakoni, and I am Rukidi Kiijanango, wishing you a blessed night.